going, everybody? This is Pred getting ready to do my first game, or first more or less in-depth video of how I play a champion. I actually have to re-record this intro because I just recorded it, listened to it to make sure it sounded okay, and then realized I had the sound shut off. So I'm re-recording this, so I'm hoping that I catch everything that I wanted to say the first time. But basically, this is going to be a how I play Warwick video. I'm going to show every kill, every death, and we're just going to kind of learn together about what went right, because that's always important to note is what went well as I guess, the more learning experiences of what did you do wrong. And until Riot gives us replays, I just record most of my games and watch them later. And it's helped quite a bit as far as learning what it was I was doing that was getting me killed and things like that. So as with before in the jungle Warwick, I don't actually have a rune set up for him, and I really should probably get it because I do like playing Warwick a lot, and I would put more armor pen in here. So I picked one of the rune pages out of the three that I had that most fit my style, and so I ended up doing this one because I don't actually get a lot of attack speed items, and so a little bit from runes is kind of nice. And then cooldown reduction doesn't hurt anyone; everyone could use it. So I went with this rune page, and page one's my tank page, page two is my Mordekaiser page, and so three is my random page. Next thing I like to talk about too is masteries, and you're going to notice this is the same as it was for the Jungle Warwick video, so I'm not going to go over this too much. You're going to notice I don't pick up any crit because, just like I said before, I don't play a crit Warwick. I don't feel that he benefits a huge amount from crit, and I think he does a little bit better with like the magic pen. Some of the big things in here that I want are the improved cripple, so I get the armor pen when I exhaust people, and then attack speed's always nice, like I said, more armor pen. And then over here, the big things are the awareness, so increase. And I'm not sure what just happened there. My recording just cut out for a second, so I'm going to try to get this back again. But basically, the other thing that I pick up in here is Utility Master. Another good ability because it increases the duration of neutral buffs, which, as I said before with Warwick, you always want the neutral buffs for as much as you can get it. And so the last part that we're going to look at, we're going to come into here and load up these champions and then see some of the Warwick stuff. I would have done this in game, but I forgot to do it while I was playing, so we're just going to actually go over it with here. So what you can see what they have for Warwick, he's a haste stun, recommended, which I'm not really sure what the recommended means, but it doesn't really matter. And you can see that he's got decent health, high attack, low spells, because he only has one thing that really does magic damage, and his difficulty is medium. And I think that's mostly because he's melee and he's pretty easy to kite around, so he's kind of hard to play, but then he also has some pretty strong abilities, so that makes up for it. So moving into this, we're actually going to do the some of his abilities, and the first one that we're going to talk about is Hungering Strike. And so Hungering Strike says takes a bite out of the enemy for unit damage, although the animation for it doesn't look like a bite so much as it looks like a big swipe. But basically this is pure magic damage, which means it benefits from Magic Pen and AP, which now you can kind of see why I picked up the two talents for the AP over the crit and stuff like that. But so it benefits from AP, it benefits from Magic Pen, but it can also be blocked by Magic Resist. It deals damage and heals you for the damage that it does. Very good all-around ability and can save you in a lot of situations, which it actually saves me several times in this game. Hunter's Call, another good one. Warwick lets out a howl, increasing all nearby friendly champion's attack speed. So this is why you don't need a lot of attack speed items on Warwick. I think if you get him up to, it's like 1.8 attack speed, and this is maxed out, you will hit 2.5, or it'll be like 2.49. So this gives him a pretty good amount of attack speed and kind of alleviates the need for a lot of attack speed items, which is great. Then this one, Blood Scent. At first I really wasn't sure about this, but the more I used it, the more I realized that this is an amazing ability, and then now they buffed it to where it's a toggle, and I'll explain why that's pretty good. So Warwick passively senses weakened enemies around him. So if a champion falls below half health and you're close enough, you actually gain Blood Scent, which means you reveal them so they can't hide from you, and then you also run faster as long as you can smell them. Now this is good for two reasons. Good for running towards people and running away, because remember, you don't have to be running to them to get the movement speed bonus. If someone's at half health and you need to run away, you will still have your movement speed bonus, which is always nice. Now, they turned it into a toggle, which is also good because it used to be always on, which made it really hard for Warwick to sneak up on people because they always saw when you had Blood Scent on them, so they knew when you were near. But now it's a toggle which allows you to move into position and then turn it on when you need it and get your little turbo mode on, and you get to run and chase people down, which is good stuff. But always remember, it is a toggle. You can't actually turn it off, and that happens to me in the game, and you'll see what happened as a result. The next thing, Infinite Duress. He lunges at an enemy champion, suppresses his target, deals damage for a few seconds. So it's actually 2.5 seconds. You get 5 swings, and this applies on weapon hit effects. So that's why I really like things like the Black Cleaver for him, because it only stacks 5 times. So basically, if you get your ult off on someone, you're going to put your 5 stacks of the Black Cleaver on them. Now, the important thing to remember is that you can, any attack that stuns you, pop up attacks, anything that basically messes with your movement or your ability to control yourself will stop your ult. And that's very important to remember when you're fighting a Warwick. So when he ults, always be, if you have a stun, be waiting a second to stun him back. And if you are spamming your stun, you actually don't stay stunned for the duration of his ult. You stay stunned for like 1.8 seconds. So there's a tiny, tiny gap where you might be able to avoid taking 2 swings, or I guess you'd only avoid, yeah, 2 swings. And so, just thing to keep in mind, and also when you're saving people, um, Blitz's grab attack or Cho'Gath's pop up attack will also knock Warwick out of his ult. And so again, you have to be extremely careful when you are using this. But for now, we'll go on took and go at it from there, and we'll just learn together. So give me 1 second, and I'm going to load up the game. Alright, so here we are in the game, and you're basically going to see, just like last time, we're working on Madrid's Razor first. And I'm going to go ahead and head on out to the jungle. I'll probably speed through this, and I'm sorry that there is no sound, but I had to shut off the sound. And here, what we're going to look at is seeing the champions that I'm facing. So, the cool thing is here, no one has any stun, and stun are Warwick's bane. And then CC followed shortly thereafter, but you can see there are no exhausts, so I don't really have to worry about CC so much. And the only thing even close to a stun is Shaco's Jack in the Box, which, since Shaco's Jack in the Box takes a second to actually do anything, it's not really that big of a deal. And then we end up coming on out here, and I'm going to just speed through the jungling scene. And the biggest reason for that is because if you really want to see this in depth, you can just watch the Jungle Warwick video, and you can learn all about it in that. But we're going to go ahead and just keep speeding on through. And like I said, I'm kind of sorry that there is no sound for this, but I shut sound off because it was kind of loud outside. There was a local festival going on, and I live pretty close to it, so it was loud, and I wanted to make sure that I could, get as much of this without any mix, like background noise and stuff like that. Plus, I was in vent, and I didn't really think you guys wanted to hear all the vent conversations and all that. But so here we are. We're still running through the jungling scene, and this is, like I said, this is basically a super condensed version of the last video that I'd done. If you enjoyed it, then please take a look at it. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you guys want to see, and we'll go ahead and get that spiel out of the way now. Go ahead and subscribe. I enjoy it. I finally got some subscribers, so hooray, we're well on our way. And as you can see, Warwick is just moving right along, and there goes the golem, and we're about over with this, because as we know from there, I finish up with the dragon, and then we move on immediately following the dragon. And sure enough, I come on down here, and Rammus was on vent with me, so we kind of had this working out for us. But then Nidalee was trying to finish him off, and sure enough, Warwick's ult, and there goes Nidalee. And so that was the first kill of the game, and as you saw, it was pretty easy. Just get the dragon and go. And then up here, we were actually going for Mordekaiser, but he had left. He get left there pretty quick. And so I decided to just go ahead and stay up here and work on killing the tower, because, well, since there was no one up here, there was no reason not to. And that's something to keep in mind, is if you get a chance to even hit the tower like twice, that's good, because the more you work down the tower, the better off you're going to be. And I picked up the attack speed in here, especially because I knew that the attack speed would help most for bringing the tower down. And since it's a buff for allies too, and Kennen will get the buff as well, is a good thing. But backed out as soon as Mordekaiser showed back up. There was no reason to stand up there on the tower and fight him. We weren't going to be able to kill a full health Mordekaiser by the tower. And Kennen just poking at him. And I went ahead and teleported back, because at this point I really wanted to get my next item, which is the Berserker Greaves. And I like these because the run speed, of course, and then the attack speed's nice, but really the big reason I needed those was for the run speed. And I went ahead and set up for the next item that I was going to be purchasing once I found it, which is the Black Cleaver. And so pretty much Madrid's Blood Razor and Berserker Greaves and then the Black Cleaver are what I would consider core items for Warwick. Those are items that I will get pretty much every game. And then the other three, and this is the way I play a lot of my champions. I have about three core items that I get for them every game, regardless who we're playing. And then I have items that are pretty much situation dependent. So in this case, I went ahead and hunted down Mordekaiser, and you're going to see I actually don't kill him. And so I backed out because I didn't want the tower hitting me, and I knew if he tried to run away, I could kill him. Kennen got the kill, but also got killed by the tower. I would have actually preferred that they just not get killed, but it ended up being okay, I guess, because I got the tower down. But in that situation, it would have been better to just let Mordekaiser live, because had he tried to run away, I would have killed him. I would have been able to intercept him. And at this rate, we would have pushed the tower down and then probably got the kill later without Kennen having to die. But here, I was coming up to save this turret until we almost died. And then I came up here, and so Shaco and Mordekaiser were up here, and myself and Misfortune were. And we decided that we were going to give chase, try to push them back a little bit. And then once I realized we weren't going to be able to catch Shaco, tried to go after Mordekaiser. And so I tried to cut him off at the pass, but we were about the same speed. And so it was about this point that we both decided, hey, we're probably not going to get the kill and we should get out of here. And we both backed away as it was. It was pretty good and we were fine. But then here's where I got greedy. And so I wanted to kill, what's his face? The Vlad. And as you can see, it actually ended up getting me killed. Now, had I just ran away, I would have been fine. There wouldn't have been a death. I wouldn't have gotten a kill, but had I not been so greedy, it would have been okay. And here you're actually going to kind of see again what greed does for you. But what I should have done before was just run away. And here it was a simple ult dash, but wait a second. Oh no, Nidalee's running away. And so you remember when I said that it was a toggle ability now? Well, I had accidentally toggled it off and I didn't realize it. So as you can see, I'm not running any faster and they both got away. So it's very important. Make sure that you remember it is a toggle ability. And then moving on up here, Shaco, I go ahead and I'm trying to stop him because he'd been backdooring so far. And he was running away because most melee don't want to fight Warwick one-on-one. But then he decides to go ahead and fight me. And it was kind of neat because I found out that you can smite his alternate. And he also made the mistake of he ran away first, which as you saw, I just ulted him instead of his pet. And I was able to get the kill. So if you're going to run away as Shaco, sometimes it's better to lead with your clone and then make the people attack the wrong guy. And then we'll go on to this one, and basically Rammus, he probably should have ran away, but he saw that he had help coming. But this kind of goes to the other team. Whenever you burn a tower, you should probably not stick around too long because it's very likely that you're going to be facing a lot of the other team when they get there. And Nidalee ended up getting killed because once again, Warwick's ult, she just wasn't going to run away. And like I said, it's really important to make sure that you know when to leave. Like Nidalee didn't have to die there, but she stuck around. They all stuck around too long. So again, moving on to the next one. Basically here, this is going to be why I said don't lead with your ult. So after Ezreal runs, flashes, and does his teleport, I ult him. I'm immediately back on his ass, and my Hungering Strikes was almost down, so I pretty much got the free kill. But had I led with my ult, he would have gotten away because as soon as it was up, he would have been able to do his flash teleport, and he would have ran away. So again, if you don't have to, don't lead with your ult. And then the next part of this was